Hello viewers, I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India is fast emerging as a global trade powerhouse with two landmark deals on the horizon, one with the United States and another with the United Kingdom. As negotiations with Washington near conclusion, the UK is preparing to formally sign a free trade agreement with India this summer. These developments signal a major shift in global supply chains and economic alliances, positioning India as a pivotal player in the world economy. Here's a closer look at these game-changing partnerships.
India and the United States are on the cusp of finalizing a landmark trade agreement, one that could significantly reshape commerce between the world's two largest democracies. Negotiations for the pact are now at an advanced stage, with both nations aiming to boost annual bilateral trade to unprecedented levels. This development comes amid growing strategic and economic ties as both countries seek to diversify supply chains and deepen cooperation across sectors including technology, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and clean energy. Adding to the momentum at the annual summit of the U.S.-India Strategic Partnership Forum in Washington, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick expressed optimism, stating that a deal is within reach.
The idea is when they put the right person in India, put the right person on the other side of the table, and we've managed, I think, to be in a very, very good place, and you should expect a deal between the United States and India in the not too distant future, because I think we found a place that really works for both countries.
Industry titans see the potential deal as a long overdue breakthrough that could unlock new opportunities for cross-border investments, technology transfers, and job creation. Many believe that a successful agreement could serve as a model for future trade partnerships in the Indo-Pacific region, marking a new chapter in the economic narrative between the two democracies.
Well, I think he was very positive about the India-US equation, the future of the two countries together. He talked about how Prime Minister Modi and President Trump are great friends, and that really helps in doing things together between the two nations. He also said that the trade deal should be announced soon. I thought that he sounded really positive about the Indo-US future together.
As anticipation builds, all eyes are now on the final stages of the negotiations. A successful trade deal would not only solidify India and the United States as key economic allies, but also send a powerful signal about their shared commitment to open markets, innovation, and sustainable growth. Following the breakthrough in trade talks, UK PM Keir Starmer's visit to India is expected to further cement in the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two nations, expanding cooperation in key areas including trade, technology, education, and cultural exchange. During this visit, the two leaders are set to sign the UK-India Free Trade Agreement, a landmark deal that aims to unlock billions in bilateral trade and investment. The near-simultaneous finalization of trade agreements with both the United States and the United Kingdom marks a pivotal moment in India's global economic ascent. The deals are being hailed as part of a larger strategy to position India as a central hub in the reconfiguration of global supply chains.
Moving on. Mass protests have erupted across Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan as frustration boils over among traders and teachers. At the Sost port, traders accuse customs officials of corruption and illegal taxation, crippling livelihoods. Meanwhile, teachers are staging sit-ins demanding long overdue promotions and respect for their service. A report.
Massive demonstrations have rocked Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan as local traders and government school teachers have taken to the streets with long-standing grievances. At the Sost dry port near the China border, traders accused Pakistan's custom officials of imposing illegal taxes and deliberately stalling their consignments for over a year, crippling livelihoods and damaging regional trade.
गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के अंदर जो कंज्यूम होगा, यहाँ सेल टैक्स और इनकम टैक्स का निज़ाम गैर आइनी है और गैर कानूनी है, और उस कस्टम एक्ट के अंदर भी गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में सेल टैक्स इनकम टैक्स का नफाज नहीं है। तो यहाँ के छोटे ताजिरों का वो डिमांड था। दूसरे जो ताजिर हैं बड़े, उनका जो बलख पड़ा है सोस्ट एयरपोर्ट के अंदर जो 250 से 300 कंटेनर है, ये बात याद रखें गुज़श्ता 9-10 महीने से है। ये तकरीबन अरबों के हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट का टैक्स को भी लॉस है और ताजिरों को भी लॉस है।
Simultaneously, government school teachers in PoGB staged a mass sit-in outside the Director General of Education's office, demanding overdue promotions and an end to institutional neglect. Despite years, sometimes decades of service, many educators remain in the same roles without any recognition or upward mobility.
मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के कैटेगरीज बनाए गए हैं, मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के कानून लागू हैं, जिसकी वजह से एहसास महरूमी के शिकार। और तीसरी बात ये हमें इंतहाई दुख के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि हमने अपने खून पसीने से जिन कलियों की आबियारी करके इस गुलशन को महकना चाह रहे थे, आज हम क्लासेस का बायकाट करके अपने तलबा को, हुसूल इल्म के मतलाशी तलबा को इल्म से दूर रख रहे हैं। यकीनन इसका हमें इंतहाई ज़्यादा दुख है कि कुछ तालिब इल्म आए, उस्ताद को कहे कि उस्ताद जी हमें पढ़ाए, और उस्ताद क्लासरूम का बायकाट करेंगे। इंतहाई हम भी शर्मिंदा हैं, लेकिन हमारे साथ इस तरह नारवा सलूक रखा गया है।
These protests reflect a deep-rooted crisis in Gilgit-Baltistan, where local voices continue to be ignored by Islamabad. As frustration mounts, residents warn that the cost of continued neglect will be irreversible damage to the region's economy, education, and future generations.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
The Osaka Kansai World Expo was recently held in Japan, serving as a global platform to showcase the cultures, arts and technologies of various countries. At the event, leading Japanese information and communication technology firm NTT presented its cutting-edge I-own technology. This technology enabled seamless, real-time communication between Japan and Taiwan, offering high capacity and enhanced energy efficiency. NTT also contributed to a digital adaptation of the kabuki play Senbon Zakura, 1,000 Cherry Trees, which featured a fusion of the virtual performer Hatsune Miku with live stage actors. The most advanced performance featured a simultaneous, collaborative presentation by Japan and Taiwan, with real performers and virtual characters appearing together on a single screen. Ordinarily, internet connections introduce a delay of several seconds. However, thanks to I-own technology, this performance was achieved with no noticeable delay.
このネットワークに遅延をなくして、まさにこのロケーションという違いをなくしていくということは、ある程度できたというふうに思っています。アイオン構想でさらに重要なところは、地球に環境にいいようにエネルギーを最終的には100分の1ぐらいにしたいというふうに目標を立ててますので、今回この大阪万博でもですね、この技術を入れてまして、8分の1というところはですね、達成して、今回いろんな形で見て使っていただいているというところでございます。
Advancements in technology are bringing unprecedented experiences to human social life, and NTT is showcasing these innovations to visitors. South Korea's new president Lee Jae-myung held his first cabinet meeting on June 5, focused on devising an emergency package to address stagnating economic growth and aid households, moving swiftly to start tackling a top campaign pledge. In brief remarks to the media, Lee told the carryover cabinet left by the caretaker government that was in place following Yoon's impeachment in December that there was no time to waste in getting to work as the people were facing hardship. At the Osaka Kansai Expo, the impressive NTT Pavilion showcased I-own technology, enabling experiences that transcend time delays and distance. Its high speed, large capacity and energy efficiency makes this possible. The Japanese pop group Perfume, which also performed at the 1970 Expo, appears in 3D at the 2025 Expo.
レーザーを使って 3D 形状を計測するような装置なんですが、遠隔地で計測したその 3D の点群をこちらの環境まで伝送することができる。それによってさもその場にいるかのような体験をできるといったことを目指した技術になっております。こちらの環境を 3D で再現して見ることができますので、遠隔地の様子を左右から回り込んで見ることができます。
An alternate version of me from the audience appears on the screen. A photo of the audience member is processed by AI to display either an aged or younger version of themselves. The AI system is located remotely, far from the screen. Between them, ION technology provides a fast, high capacity and energy efficient connection. ION and entity technologies are continuously advancing, aiming for the next stage of development. It feels like the dawn of a revolution in both industry and social life.
More than 3 years after the Taliban regained control of Afghanistan, the country is facing a deepening humanitarian crisis, with women and children suffering the most under harsh and regressive policies. The education system is collapsing, girls remain banned from schools, and widespread poverty has forced millions of children into hazardous labor. Take a look.
Afghanistan's once fragile education system has now all but collapsed, becoming one of the most glaring symbols of Taliban repression and international neglect. Nearly 4 million children are currently out of school in Afghanistan, and almost 60% of them are girls. UNICEF has raised alarm over the country's crumbling education infrastructure, lack of female teachers, and absence of basic amenities like clean drinking water and sanitation facilities. For girls, the hurdles are even more dire, with deeply ingrained socio-cultural norms and the Taliban's brutal bans denying them even a basic right to education. Since the Taliban seized power in August 2021, girls have been banned from attending school beyond grade 6. This draconian policy, which the Taliban dubiously claims is in line with their interpretation of Islamic law, has sparked widespread international condemnation. But on the ground, Afghan families are paying the price. With no access to formal education and little hope for change, a generation of girls is being left behind.
Since the takeover of the Taliban is not a very short period of time, it is only when these girls grow up that we will see the impact that it has on Afghan society and on the Afghan economy. But what is important is the following, that you are creating or giving rise to a situation where more than 50% of your population will not be educated, they will be illiterate. They will not have the basic knowledge as to how to bring up future children. They are not being able to participate in the Afghan economy. So if you look at the crisis, it is coming upon Afghanistan, it will be huge, and unfortunately it is all self-created because it is by decree that the Taliban has made it so. There was no need for the Taliban to bring it in.
The ripple effects of the education ban are devastating. Child labor is on the rise as families, buckling under economic pressure, are forced to send their children to work instead of school. Many of these children toil in hazardous conditions with no legal protections or access to healthcare. In April alone, over 1 million children were screened for wasting, and more than 43,000, most of them girls, required urgent outpatient treatment. The situation is worse in rural and mountainous areas where schools are scarce, transportation is non-existent, and cultural norms discourage girls from traveling far. Shockingly, only 16% of schools in Afghanistan are girls only, and many lack even the most basic sanitation, further discouraging female attendance. Moreover, only 48% of teachers have the minimum required academic qualifications, leading to a severe quality gap in education. UNICEF warns that unless urgent interventions are made, over 2 million girls could be out of school by the end of 2025.
The Afghan economy, in a sense, has not been growing. It has also by law excluded more than half the population, the women half, from the workforce. So what it has done is to create widespread poverty. Now wherever there is widespread poverty, the incidence of child labor will increase, and that is exactly what is happening.
The broader humanitarian picture is equally bleak, with 22.9 million Afghans, including 12 million children, expected to require humanitarian assistance this year. This makes Afghanistan the second highest in terms of people in need globally. Compounding the crisis, nearly 1 million Afghans have returned from neighboring Pakistan amid ongoing deportations, and 2/3 of them are children. With no homes, no schools and no security, these returnees are among the most vulnerable. Meanwhile, only limited humanitarian aid reaches those in need due to Taliban interference, restricted access and a crumbling health system. In a country where nearly half the population needs help, the future of Afghanistan is in limbo.
Nestled in northeast India, Manipur is a treasure trove of vibrant culture and breathtaking beauty. Its traditional handicrafts weave the stories of local life and heritage, while the handloom industry proudly preserves age-old traditions and serves as a vital source of livelihood for many. Let's explore this mesmerizing state and discover its unique tribal handicrafts.
Known as the jewel of the Northeast, Manipur is nature's own masterpiece. With its lush green valleys, tranquil lakes, towering mountains, and ever-blooming flowers, this enchanting land boasts a climate as vibrant as its rich culture. Yet, as breathtaking as Manipur's landscapes are, the true beauty lies in the skilled hands of its people. For centuries, rural women and artisans have woven the soul of the state into its handloom and handicrafts, an age-old tradition lovingly passed down through generations, keeping alive the timeless artistry of Manipur.
तो हम लोग यहाँ काम करता है, कस्टम का ड्रेस बनाता है। ये भी ट्रेडिशनल का कपड़ा है। ये कपड़ा बनाने में 1 दिन 2 दिन लगता है। बहुत मेहनत करके बनाता है हम लोग लेडीज़ का भी बनाता है, जेन का भी बनाता है। 3000 का भी है प्राइस भी, और बड़ा होगा तो प्राइस भी ज़्यादा होगा। कम ज़्यादा मेहनत करेगा तो प्राइस भी ज़्यादा होगा।
Even today, the rhythmic clatter of traditional handlooms echoes across Manipur as women skillfully weave vibrant fabrics into fanek, shawls, sheets, towels and more. Crafted from locally sourced silk and cotton, each piece is a living tapestry of Manipur's rich heritage, where every color and pattern tells a story. Though the handloom sector once struggled in changing times, growing appreciation for handmade products has sparked a renewed demand, breathing fresh life into this timeless craft.
1.5 years, the business was somehow slow, but now, for the last 5-6 months, now business is growing, running smoothly, and the demand is growing more. Yeah. People are demanding more different kinds of our products. So our workers are busy working from morning till evening.
These hand-woven treasures are more than just textiles. They are threads of identity, carrying the stories, struggles, and spirit of Manipur's tribal communities. Each piece reflects the resilience, creativity, and cultural pride of its makers. As demand grows and the looms continue to hum, these crafts stand as powerful symbols of tradition and transformation, preserving the essence of local tribal life while weaving a hopeful future for generations to come. This is Nungbi village in the Ukhrul district of Manipur, where black pottery is a centuries-old craft and a treasured heritage of the Tangkhul Naga community. What makes this pottery unique is that it is entirely handmade, no potter's wheel is used. The process relies on two natural materials, serpentine stone and clay. The stone is collected from the forest, ground into a fine powder by hand, and mixed with water to create a malleable clay. The pot is then shaped by hand, left to dry for several days, and finally fired in a kiln in a traditional way.
This material, rocks, stone and clay, we collected from far places. And that material, when we brought to our home, we powdered it with our hand, with our own hand. So it makes it troublesome when we make pots. At present, about 200 families are potters.
Black pottery is not just beautiful, it's natural, durable and eco-friendly. Crafted into pots, cups, plates and bowls, it's perfect for cooking and serving, keeping food warm without leaching chemicals. Rooted in Manipur's rich heritage, this art form embodies tradition, sustainability and timeless wisdom. With growing global interest, Manipur's black pottery is emerging as a proud symbol of India's artisanal excellence.
From loom to legacy, Manipur continues to weave its magic. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.